Future millionaires, welcome back. It's often been said that the biggest purchase that you will make in your life is your house. And many people end up making that purchase. At any given point in time, almost 60% of Americans actually own their homes. And it is usually the single biggest driver of their personal net worth. But how do you value a home? Today, I'm going to teach you a foolproof process for valuing a residential home. And I want you to use this at the negotiating table the next time you are buying or selling your home so that you get a great deal. Because when it comes to home ownership, bought right is half sold. If you're going to purchase a home and you have a very clear quantitative financial goal for how much that home should cost, you can save tens of thousands of dollars. So let's start out with how most homes are valued. When I was 24 years old, running around town, I was about to purchase a new condo, and the real estate agent whispered in my ear, "I've heard that this part of town is going to be worth $300 a square foot in no time." Well, I was buying a 1,200 square foot condo for about $200 a square foot, right? Or $240,000. And so my brain very quickly did the math and realized that I would make $120,000. Well, guess what? 15 years later, that part of town is still waiting to be worth $300 a square foot. All she had to do was whisper in my ear comparable valuation for other homes. Real estate agents are not incentivized to help you pay less for a home. Their commission percentage goes up for every extra dollar you spend on your home. So they love using comparable valuations because they can cherry pick perfect examples to help you pay more for your home to justify that expense. Okay, that's how most of this is done. Now, let's talk about what you can do so that you don't fall victim to that. We're going to teach you how to put together a little profit and loss statement for a residential house. There's 3 steps, and they're all pretty straightforward. The first thing is you have revenue, which in this case is rent. And then the second step, that house has expenses like property taxes, insurance, maintenance. You might have an HOA, homeowners association fees. And then you have money that you need in order to get the house into a livable state, right? Maybe it needs a new roof or other repairs. Now, the beauty of real estate is that all of this information is super easy to find. The taxes, the insurance, the HOAs, all of that information you'll be able to find right from the listing or from the agent. The repairs, or the amount of money that the house needs in order to be livable, most of the time, any house that's on the market, this number might actually be 0. But you're going to go through the process of hiring an appraiser, or you're going to pay for a home inspection, and that home inspector might come back and say, it needs $5,000 for new windows, or it needs $20,000 for a new roof, or something like that. They'll give you some amount of money there that you might need to play with. Now here's the fun part, rent. The beautiful thing about buying a home in 2020 is that it's really simple for you to go online to Craigslist or apartments.com and for you to find similar homes, right? And a similar home is usually same zip code, same number of bathrooms, same number of bedrooms, similar size in square feet, and maybe a similar lot size. So
we are on Zillow looking at this house in Novi, Michigan, 236 Bernstead Street. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,218 square feet for $189,000. And so here we have that home right here, where we're gonna take a look and try and see if it's a good deal. All right. So I looked on Craigslist and Zillow, and I found 3 similar places for rent in Novi, it's important to keep in mind that this data is listed. If it's a cold market, people might not be able to get this much rent per month. If it's the hot market, then people might end up paying more than that. So it's not quite as simple as just plugging in the numbers. So when I looked at these three similar units, they were each 2-bed, 2-bath, 900 to 1,200 square feet, and I dumped in the rents, and I took the average, and it came up to be $1.40 a square foot, right? So $1.40 a square foot gets us about the market for rent in Novi, Michigan. So we know that this place is 1,218 square feet. So we think that on a monthly basis might rent for as much as $1,700. Feels a little high, but we'll go for it. On an annual basis, that would be about 20 grand in rent. And now it's always important to use a vacancy rate. For this example, we'll just say that 1 month out of the year, you might not be able to collect rent because it takes you a little bit of time to find a new tenant. If you have a long-term tenant, sometimes this can be not necessary, but it's always good from the standpoint of being conservative. And so we'll say that 1 month or 1/12 won't come through. So we've got net rent of 20 grand minus the vacancy of $18,000. On the listing in Zillow, on the taxes, it says $272 a month. So we'll drop those in, add $1,000 for insurance. So we don't have the luxury of having gone through a home inspection for this property yet. For all we know, it needs 50 grand for a new roof. Generally speaking, about 1% of a home's purchase price is a good earmark for repairs and maintenance. So if this house is $189,000, then we'll set aside 1% of that for repairs. So now we have all the information we need. Net income for the house is the net rent minus your property taxes, minus your insurance, minus your repairs. So it's about $12,000. As fate would have it, it looks like this house does a really nice job of fitting into the matrix here. Like a screaming great deal on this house would be $130,000. A good deal would be $192,000. And $257,000 would be really ridiculously priced. And so with this house priced at $189,000, it seems to imply that the house is pretty fairly priced. So that is Matt's real estate valuation template that you can use to impress your friends and save money on homes.
Now, obviously, this is art and science. We talked about the science, but there's some pretty big gaps here, right? And a lot of this is going to come down to some of the intangibles, like the school system, like the walkability of the neighborhood, like whether or not you like the house, the style, the location. So there's a lot of variables that this certainly might not account for or that are open for interpretation. But using this approach to value homeownership will help make sure that you can justifiably hold the line, buyer or seller, depending upon which side of the table you're on, to help make sure that you always do your best to get a good deal when you're buying a home. Do you rent or do you own your own home? What process are you going through to evaluate whether or not you got a good deal? Comment, like, share, and thanks for being part of our YouTube channel.